Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and today we are talking about the remaining Wii U and 3DS games we should get on Nintendo Switch before it's all said and done. And the reason I decided we could talk about this today is because earlier today, Nintendo posted this on Twitter. As of early April 2024, online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end service for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software. Thank you very much for your continued support of our products. It doesn't come as any surprise that Nintendo would be ending support for these systems. They've been slowly phasing out different features of these systems, and come April 2024, all online functionality for the most part is going to be entirely gone. So some of the games we could still enjoy on Wii U and 3DS will become less relevant, less important. And there have been a lot of ports from the prior generation that have been brought to Switch, but not all of them. There are still some remaining. So which games make sense for Nintendo to bring back? Well, that's what we're talking about today. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and join me as we talk about Nintendo every day. So I do think that there is reason to believe that Nintendo will bring more games from the prior generation over to the Switch. And the main reason for that is because Nintendo has been doing it throughout the entire Switch era. We've been seeing Wii U ports and a lot of remasters and remakes all throughout. But especially now, over this last year, and with what's been announced already, it's been made clear that a big chunk of the games that are coming, basically about half if not more, are remakes and remasters. And this is likely because we are transitioning over to the next generation. It's also probably why Nintendo is ending online functionality for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U. They are preparing things for the next new system, and a lot of their development resources are being focused on the next generation Switch, but in the meanwhile, to make sure that there are still quality games coming during this period of time, they are focusing a lot of their efforts on bringing over remasters and enhanced ports and/or remakes to fill up the gaps until the time comes. And that probably explains why 80% of the known games that are slated for 2024 are some type of remake or remaster. But while yes, it is expected by many that Switch 2 comes out sometime next year, that doesn't mean Nintendo will be done with the Switch next year. So it isn't like we're just going to get a few more games and then it's going to be done. Nintendo recently confirmed that they will be supporting Switch at least into 2025, and I expect even beyond that as well. If you look at how they handled the Nintendo 3DS, they were publishing games on that system until 2019. The Switch has a very healthy ecosystem, still selling a lot of games, still selling systems. They'll continue to support the Switch for some time to come, and I think it may even go down as the best-selling system ever. So in order to do that, Nintendo will bring over games that make a lot of sense to be on Switch. So then, what kinds of games could we see come to Nintendo Switch from the Wii U and 3DS era? Focusing on 3DS first, one game that I think makes a lot of sense that has been rumored is Kid Icarus Uprising. Even the creator himself, Masahiro Sakurai, has teased the game coming to Nintendo Switch at one point or another, or getting ported. Now, there's some debate about if it's being worked on or if he's trying to drill up an interest in it being worked on, but regardless, I do think it makes sense for this game to come eventually, even if it doesn't come out sometime next year, let's say a year or so down the road. I wouldn't be surprised if we do hear about some sort of port or remaster of Kid Icarus Uprising. And now, another popular game that many have clamored to come onto Nintendo Switch is Metroid Samus Returns. This is actually a remake of the second Metroid game, and this came out back in 2017 during the launcher of the Nintendo Switch, and back then a lot of people were wondering, well, why are you putting such a high quality game on the 3DS when it could be on Switch? A lot of us really wanted to see this game with HD visuals and high quality textures, which we didn't get because it was on 3DS, but now that we are entering the era where maybe we'll see Switch 2, perhaps they remaster Metroid Samus Returns. It could be a nice stopgap before we get the next brand new 2D Metroid, probably being made by Mercury Steam. Now, the next couple games I'm going to mention here, I almost feel bad for mentioning because they're not actually 3DS games originally, they were on GameCube and Wii respectively. Luigi's Mansion and Donkey Kong Country Returns, but they brought these over to 3DS, and they were high quality games that worked well on 3DS, but would work even better if they remastered the original versions and brought them over to Switch. And I do feel pretty confident at least saying that Luigi's Mansion will come at some point, given that we're getting Luigi's Mansion 2, we already have Luigi's Mansion 3. It would be weird to not have the entire trilogy on Switch. So I expect that one to come at some point. Donkey Kong Country Returns is a little bit of a tougher call, but it is something that I think would make sense to come to Switch. It's such a great Donkey Kong game. And maybe it's something that could be announced in a lead up to the release of the next new Donkey Kong game that Nintendo has yet to put out. Maybe they're saving that game for Switch 2 and they give Switch owners Donkey Kong Country Returns as a holdover. Maybe around when they announce the next new Donkey Kong game, possibly for Switch 2, they also announced Donkey Kong Country Returns to come to Switch. Now, there's a few other 3DS games that I'm going to mention here, but I don't think they're going to come. Triforce Heroes and Metroid Prime Federation Force. These are very fun multiplayer games that I think would be great to see on Nintendo Switch, and maybe they do happen, especially with Nintendo ending online functionality for these prior gen systems. But given that they're not your typical mainline entries, especially Federation Force, that is definitely strong spin-off territory, I don't see Nintendo going back to these. But I will say I think Triforce Heroes has a better chance than Federation Force. Now moving on to Wii U. Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD. We've talked about them for so long. Yes, I think at some point they should come to the Nintendo Switch. Andy Robinson, the owner of Video Games Chronicle, a long time ago said that they were coming, and I think they've simply been held because Nintendo is waiting for the right time to put them out. It's going to be a long time before the next mainline Zelda game, given that Tears of the Kingdom just came out. Nintendo's going to use other Zelda releases to hold this lever until then. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, I think, are likely candidates to do that, and likely to happen before the Switch is done, in my opinion. And then for the last final game that I think for sure should come over to Switch at some point is Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is the only Xenoblade game that is not on the Nintendo Switch, and it's an amazing game. It is arguably the most ambitious game on Switch, save for maybe Breath of the Wild. It's a huge open world with so much going on, and it would really be nice for other people to get to enjoy this game. It even had some online multiplayer features that we will no longer be able to enjoy because they are ending that functionality for Wii U. Now, it's possible Nintendo may be saving this for Switch 2, and they're going to greatly enhance this. The same could be said for maybe Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Maybe they put them into 4K instead. But given that it was made for Wii U, I can still see it coming out for Switch relatively easy, and it still would be enhanced and look and run a bit better. Now, some games that I really enjoyed on Wii U that I don't think are coming to Switch. One of them is Splatoon. I don't think there's any need to bring over Splatoon. We have Splatoon 2, we have Splatoon 3, even the DLC for Splatoon 3 includes the lobby for Splatoon 1. And I think that's pretty much all we're going to get in terms of love of Splatoon 1. I will miss Splatoon 1. Splatoon 1 was such a fun game, and I have a decent amount of nostalgia for it. So maybe I'll be going back to play it on Wii U just a few more times before it's all over April 2024. And then the other game I'll mention is Star Fox Zero plus Star Fox Guard. They came together. I would love it for Nintendo to at least bring Star Fox Guard over to the Switch at some point, but both Star Fox Guard and Star Fox Zero were so heavily integrated with the Wii U and its gamepad and the asymmetrical gameplay that it would be kind of hard for them to bring this over. They would have to change around some significant elements for these games. And truth be told, Star Fox Zero just isn't the best Star Fox game, and I'd much rather they focus their efforts on giving us a new Star Fox game, or perhaps remastering a better Star Fox game like Star Fox Assault from the Nintendo GameCube. That would be a much better game, and if they gave that online play, I'd much prefer that over a port of Star Fox Zero. But I'll definitely miss Star Fox Guard. That was always a fun game, but it doesn't require online play, so if you have a Wii U, you can always go back and have a good time. And those are my thoughts on games from the Wii U and 3DS era that are left to come to Switch. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. This is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.